Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to the Plebcast. My name is Miles David, your favorite virtual shoutcaster. And here with me is, of course, Slayer and TDS. Say hi to the cam, guys. Except you, TDS. You're just a PNG right now, even worse than me,
Yeah.
apparently.
I,
Actually, it's
I,
not
I,
worse. I admire his choice because at least he's not an anime boy like you.
yeah,
yeah, I'd rather just show my face as a picture than go for a BTube vibe.
I don't care.
No, they cannot live
Of
like
course
that.
you don't.
Speaking of anime, guys, we have Worlds. Might as well be the tournament arc, honestly, for these teams. Guys, quarterfinals is done. Okay, it's finished. And it was
I thought you were gonna transition to Arcane when you talked about anime.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, is Arcane an anime? That's kind of debatable, right? Because it was made in the
Yes,
It's
an
an
West.
anime.
animation. It's an animation, so it does
I
uh,
mean, in that
to a
case,
certain
Shrek
point.
is an anime, man.
Shrek is an animated movie.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
animated.
I mean, technically it is. I'm not sure. I heard from the anime man that Shrek was considered an anime in Japan because it's an animation.
Listen,
I can live with
any
that.
animation in
I can
Japan
live with
is
that.
called anime.
Yeah. So Shrek is basically an anime. I guess Arcane then. I don't know. I'd see anime more as like a Japanese thing. But anyway, besides that, besides Arcane stuff, are you guys gonna watch it actually?
Nope.
Say how about
I
you?
probably will.
Okay. I'm probably gonna watch it too. We'll see.
The ironic thing is, it releases on the same day as the World's Finals.
Okay, probably not gonna watch it on the same day then, because you have to
I
watch the
mean,
World's Finals.
definitely we're not going to watch it on the same day.
We've got the
Come on.
tournament
Yeah.
arc to tackle, to tackle, guys. So we have the quarterfinals already finished between these teams at Worlds, and it was kind of a stomp for most of them, except for the LPL1, which is always as entertaining as ever.
Was
Yeah,
it
they had to
entertaining?
deliver a fiesta. They had to
No,
deliver
no,
a
no, it's
fiesta
the
at least.
fiesta. It's the LPL fiesta that happens every single time. Slayer. It's just I don't know, when you scrim someone for too long and then get on the main stage, I feel like that's what's gonna happen. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Weird stuff that doesn't really, I guess we can talk about RNG versus EDG first, right? Alright, let's talk about that one first. Where
Okay.
it was the only series to go the full distance, all 5 games. We had some extremely strange picks coming from both sides. As you
Yep.
know, we had like Annie being picked up. There was Malzahar, I believe. Wait, was there? I remember
Yes,
there
there
Yeah.
was a
was there. There
Malzahar.
was Malzahar.
This
Yeah,
game one.
I remember Malzahar being picked. And man, it was a wild game, as wild as you can get. What
Oh,
did you think
yeah.
of that series?
I mean, it's ban the crying series. It's called the ban the crying series, where you're like, ban everything he has played, and so he picked up Annie, and then banned Annie at the last game, so he's got nothing else to play than Oriana, and then yeah, that was a ban the crying series.
Yeah,
Yep, pretty much.
TDS, what
And
about you?
for me, that series exemplified perfectly how banning a champion pool from a player doesn't mean they are good or bad. Doesn't mean anything pretty much. It's just taking away from liabilities, taking away from things that make it harder. And we saw how after the fourth game in the last one, when they banned everything out of Crying, RNG just didn't play RNG style. Like they could not Crying could not leave lane to go help Xiaohu, even
Mm-hmm.
though he had teleport on Oriana. It just kind of crumbled when Crying didn't have any way to help the rest of the map.
Yeah,
So I feel like it was such an obvious thing, but I think EDG thought that they could answer to Crying without having to ban him completely. Also, the Annie curveball, I think that Annie, I really don't think Annie was that much. In all honesty, I understand the ban and I understand that it was a really huge curveball, but honestly, I think that Annie could have been just like Oriana, so easily played around, and you can pretty much just win with against Annie as well. But overall, I think that it was not as expected. I thought EDG would just
stomp.
play much more, no, not as some, but I thought that they would play much more intelligently, and it would be a 3-1. But I think that they let themselves go with the chaos of RNG at a certain point.
Now, after we did our last episode,
Yeah.
I went back to thinking, wait, I voted EDG 3-1. That was totally wrong. That was before. This was before the series, because then I
Yep.
thought, because, and there's only one reason, EDG always blows their first series of any playoff game. They are the worst in the first series. I don't know
Yep.
why. They kind of play weird, but yeah,
They have to get the int out.
they have to get
Unfortunately,
the intro.
unfortunately for them though, there's no double elimination bracket, so they had to still win the first series in order to advance further, and they ended up doing it at least. So
To be fair to EDG, they did play better in the last few games as opposed to the first few games.
mm,
Yeah.
true. It's like
But
they were.
EDG, so first two games of EDG was much different than next three games of EDG.
100%.
Yeah, that makes
I think
sense.
that the first two were clear. Like it felt like they were about to choke, even though they won the first one. Like I think it was the second one actually. Even though it felt like they won one of those of those two first games, I was expecting already the choking to happen, because the way that they won those games was not like EDG at all. Like the EDG most people expected. I
Yeah,
Yeah,
think RNG played to expectations to a certain degree.
yeah.
yeah,
RNG played the expectations. Honestly, commemorations to RNG for making it this far. Honestly, and achieving what they did with a very
Thankfully,
budget
they lost.
roster. With a very budget roster, I might add. I don't think anyone expected this much out of the roster coming into this year. None of the analysts did. RNG just actually blew up in spring. They managed to win
yeah,
MSI. They petered off in summer, but at this point, you got more than you bargained for. You got all the bang for your buck with this roster, I think, from
I'm
RNG.
surprised, honestly,
Right?
with that. No, but I'm surprised in the sense that that people didn't give RNG the benefit, not the benefit of the doubt, but much more hype, because I understand Xiaohu going to top lane was something surprising, and there may be doubts, but Wei crying was something that we saw last year
E-Star.
on E-Stars, and it wasn't. It was good. They were good. They were playing good. Yes, they imploded, but they were a fine combo. Ming is a known quantity, and he has shown that he's easily one of the best super players in the world. And Gala, it was another kind of,
He was a trainee before
yeah.
coming
yeah,
into
he
the
was.
main
It
roster.
was the other curveball, but people were hyping him up. So when people say that RNG did this with a what was it, with a roster that I used a word but I forgot it.
Budget?
Yeah, budget, a budget roster. I honestly don't agree. I think that they have a lot of good pieces at the start of the year. It was just if they could meld together well enough or not. But I think that they always had the potential to be there.
No, I call it the budget roster because Xiaohu wasn't supposed to be playing top this year. It's
Yeah,
just
no,
that
I agree
RNG
with that.
couldn't get anyone else, so Xiaohu had to go. And I think you're just giving Cryan and Wei a bit too much credit there, man.
Yes.
With
The thing is,
with the
the thing
hype.
is, I saw them on E-Stars and I was hyping
I
E-Stars up a
I
lot.
I
Like
know,
they
but
fell apart, but
Eastarts fell apart. That's the
yeah,
thing.
they fell apart. But reminder that it was four rookies. I think it was four rookies, because I think Xiaoxi wasn't a rookie. He played in Taiwan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
believe so
it
too.
was four rookies and Xiaoxi. So it made sense that it fell apart. It wasn't good, but I understood why. But this time around, Wei and Crane had a little bit more experience, and they last year showcased so many good things that I thought people would give them much more credit. But I guess I'm just blinded.
I mean, like at the start of the year though, TDS, would you say, all right, this team's gonna win LPL?
I was expecting FPX to win.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
because
I mean,
FPX. Yeah, no, I never said that RNG were going to be a clear winner. I think FPX was the clear favorite just because of the players that were there. I was also guessing RNG, IG maybe was going to show, but RNG, I would have put RNG over EDG, for example, at the
I
start
think
of the
I,
year.
I think a lot of people I don't know. I would have put it in the same tier, honestly. RNG and EDG,
I would have put them over them.
because it wasn't
I
just
thought
like
they
it
were better.
wasn't just the pieces, right? RNG and EDG had just failed to show up for the past
yeah.
how many years in the LPL.
EDG, I think four,
Yeah, they've just
three,
been
four.
they've
It's
just
been
been
long.
it's just been such a long time, and I don't think many people really just expected this resurgence coming from these two orgs, especially. Okay, I will give you that Crane and Way are definitely, of course, better than I guess people made them out to be at the start of the year, but this is still kind of it's still kind of a bargain. It's still kind of a bargain deal that they got so much out of.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Mm,
I got nothing
can't
else
argue
to add.
much, honestly. Yeah, I can't argue
I
much,
mean,
honestly.
I mean,
Like,
I
I
got
can
nothing
see
else to
why,
add.
but
Yeah, I got nothing else to add for the fact that now that RNG's out, I think honestly they should think of moving off of Crane. You know, I don't think he's a fit.
I
yeah, I
think
think crying is going out as well. I was going to mention this at the start of the year. I was much higher on crying. Now I think crying is out.
that's a rip.
Yeah,
I guess
Crane is probably Crane.
RNG they had their one strat that basically worked for them all year
Yeah.
with Crying basically supporting everyone else. And well, now that they got figured out, there's nothing left in the tank for them unfortunately, and they
The
definitely would
thing,
have
Yep.
to rebuild.
yeah, the thing is, when they won Spring and then they won MSI, everything was kind of favoring them because the meta favored how they played,
Yeah.
like their style, their champion pools, everything favored them. And all of a sudden, summer came in and every ADC is different. And then you see Cryin is not as good because mid lane picks changed. And then you see Gala is not as good because ADC picks changed. And then there goes RNG.
That's one
That's
reason.
the
Yeah, that's one reason why like the Royal Road is so hard to pull off in League of Legends, right? And no one has ever done it yet.
In Yeah,
yeah,
Because by the time spring ends and summer comes, Riot nerfs all the shit that makes you strong. And you have to basically retool everything to fit the current
yes,
meta that will be in
yes,
summer and world. So
yes.
it's just super hard to be able to do it.
It's a game
RNG,
of adaptations. It's a game of adaptations.
yeah, it is. It is. Unfortunately, teams. It's not like CS:GO. It's not like Valorant where the patches are pretty slow coming. Especially for CS, I don't know. It happens like once a year, or once every, twice a year that something gets changed in CS. And Valorant, it's like once every few months. So,
Yeah,
and even then, it's not like you still shoot people in Valorant. There's like no nerfs to headshots. You still get, you
yeah,
can still one tap someone with a gun. So
yeah.
it just it's just hard. It's just really hard in League of Legends when everything changes so much. But yeah, so commemorations to RNG. Good effort. You made it to five. You made it an entertaining 5 game series. Was the quality good?
eh,
Mm,
Eh,
eh, not really, but I guess the entertainment value still. I mean, compared to the rest of the quarterfinals where everything
oh
was
yeah,
just stomps, we just at least we have that one.
yeah.
yeah. For entertainment purposes, it was the best to see. I got spoiled because I was going to. I slept since my time zone is bad for watching it because
Yeah.
it's so early in the morning. So I was sleeping, and my brother spoiled me the games because he was watching a Spanish streamer that was watching the series.
Is it Ibay?
Oh
And
no, he's dead.
we lost TDS Mike again. Oh no.
Well,
TDS, you might need to reconnect.
so so we lost TDS. That's pretty much it. Let's move on,
Yeah,
I guess.
I guess you can talk. I guess you can talk about that some other time. Sorry, TDS. We're gonna move on. I guess we can talk a bit about EDG, right? EDG as a team right now.
I mean, we can also leave it off until when we talk about the
Oh
semifinals.
yeah, sure. I guess we can talk about the yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. Semifinals preview after. All right, let's go to the next quarterfinals that we can talk about. Which one do you want to go with, Slayer? I'll leave the
Let's
next
go
one
with
to.
let's go with probably the one we'll talk about the least, which is T1 HLE. Because
Oh.
it'll be feels it the least
I don't know.
because
I don't want to talk about T1 until TDS is here. Like confirm that he's talking
I'm
with
here.
us. All right,
Yes.
excellent.
he's here.
All right, he's
He's
here.
here. So the reason why I say it's gonna be the shortest conversation is because when I watched that series, it felt more and more like HLE just said, "Hey T1, you want this series win? Yeah, take it. Bye."
It was like for me. It was like when you're in a school and you want to play soccer on the
Oh, he
court
said
of
soccer. Let's
Football,
go. Let's
football,
I'm sorry
go.
for that. You know, I'm sorry for that, but I just want to
football.
make it more understood for people speaking. But yeah, football. So you want to play football on the court, and there's just one court, and there's the 12th grader, the 11th graders here is the max grade, and then there's the second graders, sixth graders who also want to play, but you will have to play a game against the 11th graders to win the court. So you just play against them and get destroyed. Pretty much that's why I thought what I thought about this series. Like there was no contest from Hanwha Live. There was no live. like it was Han with that pretty much.
With this.
Not representing well
With
enough their mark.
I mean, when I like that series was so baffling to me because Hanwha drafted really bad, and
Yep.
then they played really bad, and then they were really bad, and I'm like, why are you even here?
Maybe they just what is it called? They mental boomed when they lost the tiebreaker to RNG. It may have been that because they had it one they were winning that until they just stupidly lose.
I
So they
mean,
maybe it just affected them, but it just felt like a
The
lifeless
other
corpse.
thing is that this is kind of what happens with LCK versus LCK matchups. An LCK
Yeah.
team which is supposed to be superior just comes in and smashes you and then leaves. Uh,
Reminder, Damwon DRX last year.
yeah.
yeah, basically what happened.
Damon, like it's not just Damon DRX. It's been happening for the entire
Yeah.
year at this point. It's been happening for the entire year. Like every time they go to a playoff series, it's like Gen.G DK DK 3-0, Gen.G T1 DK 3-1, T1 HLE T1 3-0, uh, Gen.G T1 Gen.G 3-0. It's kind of like this weird scenario where they're like kind of killing off each other and they're like, what's going on? There's not even a contest. That's how LCK teams
Yeah.
operate, sadly, guys.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah,
I,
the
Go
problem
ahead.
with LCK, sorry to cut you here, but the problem with LCK that exacerbates this is the fact that they want to play against every team the same. They play the same way against every team, and when there's a clear skill difference or a clear team is better, like they just lose. And that's something that it's not even something from this year. Like examples from previous years exist as well. When there's the in 2017 Worlds, Genji versus Longju. Even though Longju
Three
was the better
zero.
team coming to the series, it was a three. It was a 3-1, I think, if I'm not wrong. It was a 3-1, but
Let me
the
check.
better team at that time in the tournament was Gen.G. Not because of the meta and other factors, but because they play the same against every team. When there's a clear advantage that the other team has over the other LCK team, they just lose. They just end up losing, and it's a thing that historically has been from the other case. Sadly, there's some instances where it doesn't happen like that, but it's because the teams are much more closely matched.
It
Example,
was.
SKT Rocks.
It was a 3-0 against Longju.
Yeah,
Samsung
so
Galaxy
yeah,
just
so even worse,
Samsung Galaxy just
even worse now.
completely wrecked them. I don't think anyone expected that either. That was just one of the
No,
biggest
the
upsets.
the interesting thing is the only exception that I've seen in recent memory from LCK is Damwon. Like even though they have a specific style, if you ask them to play a different way, they can play a different way.
Yep.
they can do whatever the hell they want at this point.
Except play through
So
bot,
The only thing I don't
effectively.
expect it's for them to hard push bot. Yeah, to hard force bot. That's the only thing that I don't expect.
I mean,
But
I mean, that's like a roster compositional
yeah,
thing. I mean, like if you had, let's say, Deft and Vista in the bot lane for Damwon, it would be different because they could play through bot lane if they wanted to. It's like that kind of scenario where if you have a bot lane that is capable of doing something, you can do that.
yep,
Yeah.
But if you don't, then you can't. It's kind of
yeah,
like
pretty
that.
much.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
agree 100% with that.
All
So
right.
that's why I felt like, yeah, that series was just a letdown because of how
Nah,
bad HLE played. Of just how bad HLE played.
I
I'll.
can see that, but at the same time, T1 won, so I'm fine. Like it doesn't affect me. Don't get me wrong. But one of the good things that I can take out from that series is even though it really felt like it was against nobody, I still saw really nice movements from T1 that were happening in the group stage. So at least they have stabilized in terms of how they are playing the game.
Yeah.
They are showing much more consistency in that regard. Drafting wise, I cannot take anything out of this series because one point that we talked about before the series was they can take advantage of draft. If they can take advantage of draft, then you can punish T1.
Yeah.
But Hanwha, and this was also something I said, so I'm not mad at all because I thought Hanwha were not going to punish them, and they didn't.
They
And it
did
ended
not.
up going much
I mean,
easier
no,
for
no, no.
T1.
Hanwha not only did
They
not
punished
only did
themselves pretty
Hanwha
much.
not punish them, Hanwha punished themselves. They're
Yeah,
like, we're gonna
like
pick Varus. What?
that was questionable to say the least.
It
And
was.
that's also why I'm still skeptical with T1 in that regard because since they weren't tested, in the series in other areas, then against Damwon, I pretty much, it's hard to call it. I think Damwon should win 3-1. I would say 3-1 just because I think that Team One are capable of taking a game, but I
We
think
can leave it off.
Damwon should be able to win.
We can leave it off for a bit
We'll
because
leave it for
I actually have
semifinal previews.
Okay, fair enough.
some good stats and like some good information about this that's kind of telling
Mm-hmm.
when we talk about these teams. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the other
Damwon
to the
Matt?
west to the
That one, man.
western finals. We go. Let's
So
save Daman Mad for last.
no, I think we should talk
All
about it
right.
right now
Fine.
because we just brought it
Yeah,
up.
All right. You know what?
Because
Fine. Fine. Fine.
I felt like Matt definitely played better, but they
Mm-hmm.
didn't play as good as they should be in order to contest Damwon. Damwon is just too good. Like I think it was game two where Matt was pretty much running away with the early game,
it was.
and then Damwon all of a sudden pulled it back in the mid game because guess what? Their mid game's just as good. It's
And
it's it's just like you can't exploit Damwon unless you are at Damwon's level. You know what I mean? You can
yeah,
get to a Damwon's level, which Matt
or or
sadly couldn't get there. Yeah, go on.
yeah, for me, or it's unless, or if you are able to destroy them even harder in early game. So it has to be such a huge lead in the early game that it's close to impossible to come back. Something that T1 did in the LCK, not in the finals, but in regular season, where there was that carry a game and Thresh that
Yeah,
he just ran over everywhere in the map and he pretty much carried. Like it's either a super high gold lead early game or outplaying them in the mid game. And I loved watching that game too because it also showed why I thought Damon was going to win this game. Damon are better than Mad Lions in mid game. Like that was Mad Lions' strength, and Damon are better at that. So that
yeah,
was also why I thought Damon were going to win.
yeah,
Like Damon, Mad Lions should have showed a better face of themselves. I think that they played fine second game, but I think that first and third game were Damon's games. Like
yeah.
it was Damon's game
That's
to
fair.
lose,
That's
not
fair.
Mad Lions' game to win.
I
E-
mean, I mean, the sad bit is to be fair that you know some people, European fans, yes, you guys held Matt to a high regard for some reason. Yeah, they weren't supposed to beat Damwon. Damwon's too strong, guys.
I think. I
Sorry to
think.
break it to you.
I
It's
think it's
unlucky.
just unfortunate that Mad had to meet them one so early in the
Yes,
playoffs. If we had
yes,
maybe, if had maybe
because I
double
honest,
LM,
yeah, because I honestly think Matt could have beaten someone like, let's say, Gen.G.
possible,
Or
yeah.
Yeah,
actually
but
they wouldn't have played
yeah,
Gen.G.
exactly. Like that's the thing. We say that it's unlucky for Mad, but they needed to win against Gen.G. They just needed to win one game against Gen.G, and it would have been C9. That's the difference. That's the difference.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if for me, it's that if they weren't even able to beat Gen.G, that I don't think they should have been in a better spot.
No, I honestly think that if this Matt played against RNG, Matt would win. If this Matt played against RNG, they would have won
Against
against RNG.
RNG, yes.
Yes. And if they played against like T1, probably not, but they would have at least pushed T1. They would have challenged
That would have
T1.
been the
Yeah,
test. That would have been the test for
they would
T1.
have been better. They would have been better at drafting 100% than how live, and I think that that's where most leads would have come from Mad Lions. I would have said 3-1 still, but I think Mad Lions would have put a better fight than Han was sadly.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you talk about that, if Matt beat Gen.G, Matt came off a game where they had to play 50 minutes against LNG for their entire life. It's like they had to channel everything into that one game, and then when they faced Gen.G for the last tiebreaker, they were all spent. It's
Oh,
kind of what happens.
I do agree, but at the same time, Genji was in the same situation where they needed to bet their lives against TL. So I understand that
Oh,
Matt may have been a little bit
The
better, but
Gen.G TL game was pretty much in Gen.G's favor from the mid game and onwards.
Yeah, it
yeah,
was.
Whereas Man had to fight
Matt
tooth
had to
and
come
claw
back.
just
I
to
do
keep.
agree with that, but still, I think that Matt had everything in their favor to be able to put themselves in a better situation, and they still came short. I cannot say like if it was against someone else, then Matt would have been better. If it wasn't against someone, but you're the only ones to blame for this because you were like people were saying, and I was even one of those that said Mad Lions were good. I thought Mad Lions were good, but I also predicted that Genji was going to come out first from that group, so I'll take that credit by the way. Uh, but what I want to say is that Mad were the ones that decided their future in that group. Like they had complete power over that, and they failed multiple times. So I
Yeah.
cannot just say that per them. Like they fell into that position.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Coming
yeah.
back to the quarterfinals, though, this is what we kind of expected.
Yeah,
Matt's a good team, but this is still a team that is in their first year, like the whole 5-man roster. They didn't play before this year.
apart from Karsi and Kaiser
No, no, I meant the 5 players together. They
as a
didn't play.
unit. Okay, okay, okay. Yep.
They did play. They did replace their jungler. They replaced their top laner. So there's room to grow for them. It's just they play. They played against.
Unless
They played against the undisputed top team.
yeah, although unless rumors
I'll-
are true and Karsi's gone,
No, if
then
Karzi
they
is
need to that.
Fucking.
like even if Karzi is gone, I don't think they take a step back anyway because
The problem is
they actually have a good they actually have a good ADC
They have a good
in
core.
they have a good core and they have a good ADC in their in
academy team in
in
Flacket.
their in Flacadilla, who's rumored to be joining G2, but it's in Mad Lions' hands because if Matt decides we're gonna promote Flacket,
Yeah,
that just happens without any impunity. So
I heard some rumors that the LEC is just waiting on Perks and Alfari whether they're gonna be joining back into
I
the
mean, I mean,
LEC.
I mean, it's not just Perks and Alfari; it's also Karzi and Hansama.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
apparently, there's some hold off for those 4 players, but I don't expect Matt to be affected by it, honestly.
no.
Probably not as
Apart
much
from
as the
Karsi
other
now.
team.
Un-
Besides
unless
Karsi.
unless Alfari is available, but I don't expect Alfari to be in the Mad Lions team. I think Armut has a lot of room to grow, and I expect Matt to stay together. Karzi, I'm not sure, but I expect them to stay together because if Hansama's available, and then I wouldn't expect Karzi to leave. That's what I'm gonna say.
Mm,
But
we'll
anything
see,
can
I
we'll
would
happen.
see.
really say, I honestly, from G2, if I was G2, I would take Hansama over Karsi. But that's just me.
Oh, I
I,
mean,
I,
I
I
mean, I
honestly,
mean, I mean that's,
I
I mean that's a no-brainer. But
yeah, I would take Hansama over Karsi right
I
now.
agree.
But what with Karsi though, if he ends up leaving Mad Lions, one of the things that has been mentioned a lot with him that I didn't know before I think the show, but like he was the one that takes control over team fights if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah, yeah, he is
So
supposedly.
like if he leaves, the dynamics may change. So I'm not sure if the Mad Lions team would be the same with the same strengths, or if their strengths begin
I mean, at that
getting
point,
amplified.
I would probably think that either Humanoid or Armor would take over it. Like, like
Okay.
Humanoid does mean mid-game shot calling. It just doesn't do it in team fights. He just likes to delegate. The thing is, I still think they can do it, but there'd be a different kind of team, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Not gonna be as
that's
team
the thing
fight
with
oriented.
Yeah.
yeah, that's the
Wh-
thing with me is
wh-
how
Which
much they
which is
change without Carsey, right?
yeah, which is good and bad at the same time in my because if that is the case, then probably they can improve in the early game because Elioya was a first year player. Now he's coming in next year with more experience. So yeah,
He
it
has
could be a
failed now,
different
so it's better.
yeah yeah. So there could be some room for growth. We could see a very different kind, and we could see even a better one at that. So, but
Yeah,
it's all in the air at this point. But I wouldn't expect much to change. I still think they'll be one of the top 4 teams in the LEC regardless.
Yeah,
yeah, I think
definitely.
that it makes sense. That
That's probably a given considered how good of a showing they had this year.
Yeah.
And technically speaking, well, the only BO5s Mad has lost internationally have been to them one. So
Yes.
yeah, there's
Elioya,
no shame in that, honestly.
Yeah, that's
Elioya,
a shame.
it's just Canyon, man. You're gonna get.
Well,
I
I
don't
do
to
gotta
say.
say
I mean,
though,
I mean, I think Elioya did have his
yeah,
moments against Canyon.
but I do gotta say though, Alioya was the most sad player to see in these worlds. Like if it was if for hyped and the amount of of power that a lot of people gave Elioya, I was really disappointed. I think that he was one of the worst junglers in the tournament. In all honesty, I think that even though he had shining moments like the Kiana Gen.G, like he got curve stomp in the early game by Clear. Like even though they won that game, the Kiana was really bad at the early game
Mm.
against Clear. it was against Clay, which he has been playing better, but it's still the third. I think it's the third jungler from the LCK. It's not even close to Canyon. And
Yeah.
Canyon, yeah, he got good moments against Canyon, but like his performance was so lackluster in comparison to what we were expecting out of Elyoya that it honestly felt sad. I think that this may work really well, really well. Sorry for that. This may work really well because I do think that failure is one of the best things that can happen to a player, especially one that is good, because you learn a lot more from failure. And losing against Canyon, obviously, it's nothing bad to happen. Like it's Canyon, it's the best genre in the world. You can
Yeah.
learn a lot from that. You
Yeah.
just need to know how to take it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Honestly.
I mean, I mean, yeah. He's a first. He's this is his first year as a professional player in the big leagues. Like
Yeah,
in one of the like he's never played in the LEC before except this year.
Yeah.
Armut did play in the Turkish league. He has experience in the Turkish league, so he did have some experience. So it's like, I mean, you take it with the rookie. I think he'll
yeah,
get better.
Yeah. He
It's
probably definitely
yeah,
will get
100%.
better. Potential to
Like
be.
even though,
Yeah. Go
oh,
ahead,
sorry for that.
TDS.
No, no, no. Finish, Miles.
I think
Don't
I
worry.
think Elioya probably has potential to be one of the best junglers in Europe. Like,
yeah,
when we look at it from a historical angle, if he continues to go on the trajectory he's
yeah,
on, of course we can't predict the future. Of course, I could be definitely wrong about this. He could absolutely implode in the next year, like we've seen some players before. But the possible potential is still there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were
I
saying
just
TDS?
yeah, I just wanted to finish with like even though I said lackluster and I think it was really lackluster, like a rookie is something that can happen with these kinds of things. Like
Mm.
it's not a player that you should not expect an implosion because he is still young. Like it's still early in the career.
Yeah.
He still needs to learn a lot of things. Playing again, like you have two chances in a year to play
Yeah.
against Korean and Chinese teams
Yeah.
and most times you just get one because it just the champion qualifies to MSI. So even though he did well in MSI, I think that it's a completely different beast than at Worlds. Worlds has much more competition, much better players, and it's the equivalent. I won't say equivalent to World Cup because World Cup is 4 years, but it's equivalent to Champions League. And Champions League, it's a different beast when you
Mm.
actually get to the later stages. So I'm excited to see what does Ilyoya get out of this experience. How does he improve? I think that he is one of the better junglers in EU right now,
Mm-hmm.
so it should be really interesting. And I
Yeah.
hope that he doesn't just explode like what happened with Shadow. That even though he went to China, so it wasn't that bad. They did just throw him away. So I hope that they stick with
No,
Elyoya much more.
I honestly think that
Yeah, I would.
Elioya is. I mean, the only thing is, I don't think Elioya is the kind of player to implode because, like, even if he played bad, he's very forthcoming with, yeah, I played bad. He pretty much says it in interviews, I played bad. So it's like he understands where he's at. So I'm expecting him to make the transition. Go on, Miles.
And that's what's important. Yep.
I kind of forgot the point I was actually gonna say.
Oh
I
no.
got lost.
The point is
I got
Damwon won.
lost in the mix.
The
Yeah,
point
the
is
point
number
is
one.
them on one. Right, best team in the world right now currently, or it looks like they are possibly gonna
I'm
end up
looking to
winning
two
worlds
times.
for a second time, which would
Yep.
be super cool, especially for someone like Khan who has been searching for that world's trophy for his entire career.
You
If
know,
he
I wouldn't
manages
be
to
mad if they got it. I
if
wouldn't be mad
they
if they
if he
got it just
manages to
for
get
Khan.
it in his final year, because it is confirmed that Khan will be retiring after this year. He will be going to
Yeah.
100%.
military service.
Yep.
Like it's a
Yeah.
100% confirmation at this point. So if Khan manages to get it, clutch it in the end, that's super good for him. He's been playing super well so far the entire tournament. Like if besides Mad Lions, let's talk about Down One a bit. Down One.
I mean, we can leave it up for the semifinals again.
All right, fine. Let's go. I mean,
Gen.G.
speaking of disappointments, we go to Cloud9 versus.
Appointment? You expected anything less,
I mean, I think
dude?
it could have been. I think it could have been a lot more competitive.
No.
There were times when Gen.G threw.
Yes.
You have to admit. You have
It's
to
Gen G.
admit.
It's Gen G. Guys, Gen G. Guys, anyone?
It's Gen.G.
Gen G plays like this?
Yep.
Question mark?
The thing, like the thing with that series, 100% is the fact that why would you be disappointed where there like I said that there was a chance. Like there was a chance because I think Gen.G is one of the worst, not one of the worst, but it's one of the weakest teams
I mean,
in terms of
I'm
how they
not
play.
disappointed. I'm talking about NA fans in general.
No,
Yeah, no,
no,
like they shouldn't be like like it was logical that this happened. Like reminder, they got out with a 2-4
Yeah,
scoreline.
one
Like
of the worst scorelines
th-
I think
listen,
Worlds
guys.
history to
When
have
I
ever.
said
so
last episode that C9 was probably the weakest NA team to get, like, weakest NA team out of the one in Worlds, and they're the one who got out. Yeah,
yep,
this proved my point.
yep, I
Hey
think
guys,
100%.
yeah, it's like if 100 Thieves was here, they'd probably play better.
I would have.
Yeah,
I
I
honestly think
mean,
100 Thieves. Like, and I said this. I think 100 Thieves, for example, gets out of Group D if they were in Group T. 100 Thieves takes.
I think
I
they
think
get
they
out of
can
group.
win this series.
No, no, I think 100 Thieves or TL, if they were in Group A, they get out of group.
Yeah,
That's it. That's it. Like,
and I don't know about TL. I don't think TL wins a BO5 against Gen.G, but I think 100 Thieves does,
so
and I
yeah,
think
100 Thieves does.
technically, if you want to do better in Worlds, you're incentivized to not win in NA.
get first. Yeah, pretty much.
It's just
Well, it is. It is. If you actually look at history in Worlds, you are incentivized to never get out at first seed, unless you're named T1 or now Damwon. If they win, you're never incentivized to get first place in your region because FPX won it on coming losing the finals if I'm not wrong, or what? No, actually, they actually won it on first place. Okay, fair enough.
no,
I
no,
was
no.
going to say because
FPX was
IG
first
did
seed.
it.
FPX was first
Yeah,
seed.
FPX was. IG won second seed. As Gen.G won second seed. Uh, what was it? TPA wasn't the favorite from the region, but yeah. Apart from those like few examples, unless you're T1, winning your region doesn't mean that much in worlds terms.
When it comes to historical examples, is what TDS means.
I mean,
But
and
yeah,
dumb one, obviously.
Yeah, historically it's T1, Dam1, and FPX has already failed to make a statement here, so ignore them.
That was just the one time.
I mean, it's very hard, especially when you're going against the enemy region's number one, right? Like
Yeah.
especially for a region like NA, which is unfortunate to say, not very good when
Yep.
it comes to teams.
I mean,
Unfortunately.
with C9 losing to Gen.G as they did, it's kind of caused quite a bit of implosion from the community. Like, oh, Perks is going to leave. Sure, why not? I mean,
Okay.
okay, sure. I mean, the
11
thing is,
million, $11 million. Let's go with
and I
BD.
will say this, and this is not a hot take. I think you guys will agree with me on this. Perks got completely outplayed against BDD.
Oh yeah,
BDD
Outclassed.
was
Yep.
yeah.
stomping him
No,
on and
that's
on
not.
and on.
I don't think that's even a hot take, man. BDD is just having a fantastic tournament right now.
Yeah. I'm really
Tried
happy
to
for BDD
mop
that he
the
actually is
floor
getting
with
this.
him. BDD just mopped the floor with Perks, and I'm like, okay. Oh, Perks wants to leave? Sure, man. Sure, by all means.
Like
Why not?
BDD, unlike the other mid laners, he doesn't really play the meta shit. But you know the champions that he is given, he gets away with so much with it.
Yeah,
Honestly, with being so familiar with Azir, being so familiar with Zoe, and he's
yeah,
just vac shotting these guys from across the map with Zoe. Honestly, it's pretty
yeah.
amazing
But
to see.
but honestly, if we focus on C9, I think C9 needs to change the roster. I think it's
They
about
do,
time.
they do.
I think it's about time.
It's about time they
Um,
do.
yeah, because I don't think, like, if they really want to change it right now, I think the only player they should keep, and I'm
Vulcan
saying the only player they should keep, is
or
Fudge.
Pudge.
Fudge.
Okay.
That's it.
You weren't gonna
I
say
was
Vulcan?
thinking maybe Vulcan
Anyone
because
else?
I was thinking
Anyone?
Vulcan,
No, no.
but
Anyone
Pudge
else?
makes sense.
Yeah. Anyone else? You pretty much say, okay, if you want to leave, you can leave. If we find someone better than you, we will take him. So brace yourselves. That's pretty much what's gonna happen. Because I don't expect the C9 team roster to stay the same. Because if they are, I don't expect them to be very good. Because 100 Thieves is gonna be the same, and they're gonna get better.
Mm.
And if they really struggle, yeah, with top lane, yeah, they actually have a pretty good top laner in their academy if they really want to bring him up. So I think 100 Thieves is set. Then you have TL. The thing with TL is up in the air because I honestly think TL is kind of in the mud. EG is going to get
Done.
better, so there's teams that are going to get better in that region, while C9 is going to stay the same, and which is kind of the problem.
I don't know
So
about C9. I mean, when I mean, if the roster stays together for C9, you mean they're gonna stay?
Yeah,
They're gonna be in trouble. I think it's gonna be a
Yeah.
blown up roster for C9.
yeah,
Honestly, with the way things turned out, even
yeah.
though they did get out of the group, they did it in like I don't know the worst way possible.
The
I
saddest
get
fashion, yeah.
in the saddest fashion. Like
Listen,
Well,
what they need, honestly, is a bot lane that can play by themselves, and a mid laner that'll play like Niski,
I mean, if that's
like
only if you keep Blabber.
who's willing to sack his lane.
That's only if you keep Blabber.
Yes, but the thing is, if you replace Blabber, who do you take? Is there anyone better than Blabber? Available,
Uh,
available.
I guess at
I
that
think
point
it
you look
would
at
have been,
Academy.
it would have to be a rookie. Like, if you're
No, no,
going to bet on
I
someone,
don't.
it would have to be a
Yeah,
rookie.
it has to be a rookie. But is there any rookie? I mean, you guys know, you guys do kind of cast NA amateur scene.
Get Kenvi.
So
I have one that I don't know how much attention does people have on him, and I don't remember particularly his name because I casted some games, but I don't particularly put that much attention yet to what is proving grounds. But I think it's Dignitas Academy jungler. I think he's in Academy right now. He is really good. He's, I think, 16 years old.
Mm.
Just turned 16 years old. He is good. I think that he has had one of the better stats in terms of jungling for Academy. So I think that he could be someone interesting to give a chance to.
You're talking about Will?
yeah, yeah,
I don't remember the name. I
no,
would have to look it up.
but the thing is with NA, and this often does not happen in the LEC because a lot of the prospects in NA, they stay on the team until the team gets rid of them.
Yeah.
So it's like if he's in, let's say, Dignitas, he's not gonna be in Cloud9 unless Dignitas lets him go, which they're probably not going to if he's that good as he's
I
saying.
mean, there are a bunch of players C9 can potentially buy if they need to. Like I'm assuming if they're gonna sell perks, they're at least gonna have money to be able to buy a roster. So there's Kenvi from 100 Thieves, I guess. Yeah, they still have Shurnfire, who's definitely improved, I'd say, from his time in TL. So I mean, there are places they can go for if they want to have a rookie. But
Yeah,
I don't know. C9 can go for development. They can decide to just buy someone from Europe. It
yeah,
depends.
yeah.
Maybe they can get someone from
But
Korea.
yeah,
It's just
but the thing is, like, Jack, C9's owner, he really likes to put a competitive roster. So I feel like if he's gonna blow up the roster, he's gonna do it with the kind of players he thinks that will fit. Because I don't think he's gonna change the coaching staff.
probably not.
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't
think.
I don't think he's gonna change the coaching staff. So he probably will have like people that he'll say, okay, bring this will fit, and they'll decide who to keep. Because I think if we're gonna think about, okay, which two players are they likely going to keep, it's probably going to be Fudge and Black. Because I don't think you find replacements for them.
For Blabber,
Yeah, I don't think you find good replacements for Black.
makes
Like
sense.
It,
good
I guess
it's the
replacements for
hardest position
contending.
to try and replace.
Yeah,
jungle,
yeah.
yeah.
To replacements that you can put in right now, and they'll be like 100% in contention for winning the
Winning,
LCS next year.
yeah. That's
So it's like if you replace someone like let's say Perks with another, let's say, imported mid laner or someone you think will be good, then there is room for that. If you want someone for the bot lane, you can find someone, but someone who's going to be stable. But yeah, it's like they're kind of stuck in the mud with this, so
yeah, a bit.
kind of
I'd
sad.
have to say. I mean, we'll see what C9 does next year in order to improve. But
Yeah,
well, unfortunately for them, their Worlds run ends here. Surprisingly, it is in the quarterfinals, not like out of the groups
surprisingly,
as we.
So,
No,
okay, yeah, no.
surprisingly.
Worlds run,
Surprisingly, it is.
their
Yeah,
Worlds run.
surprisingly, it's in quarterfinals, not in group stage.
Yeah,
That is true. I agree with
surprisingly
that.
for the fact that they lost in quarterfinals instead of group stage, because we expected them to be out in group stage. So it was a good effort from them, I'd have to say. Not enough to get to beat Gen.G, who's Gen.G is good definitely, but they're one of the less inspiring teams coming in
Yes.
from Korea, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
So
The saddest thing is that they probably get like they can get to finals. I'm really sad about the potential of that happening.
speaking then speaking of
of
that
Gen.G.
segue, we're gonna go into the semifinals preview in a bit, and we're gonna do it now. So, EDG versus Gen.G, guys. Who you got?
I think this should win. Three
It's
one.
EDG. It's EDG 3-1 because
I
I
like how you guys had to think about that for a few seconds. Wait, let me.
no no
It's
no 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 no. The reason I had to think for a few seconds that there's a reason for this is because I was thinking whether EDG would win the first game or not. Because
Mm.
EDG is never good in first games. He's just pathetic in first games. I mean,
yeah.
All
I
right,
don't know why.
let me put it this way. EDG is like a computer. They have to download their opponent in order to win, in order to counter what they're
No,
doing.
no. I think the best way to explain it is they're like they're like they're like Windows
Windows Vista,
Internet Explorer. They're like Internet
Internet
Explorer.
Explorer.
They
Internet
need
Explorer.
one game. They need one game to figure out. Okay, this is what our team. This is what the opponents do. Yeah, let's do that. Sure. It's just a bit delayed. You know, they need a bit of time to just give the search results for hey this team does this. Okay, draft that.
Every
Uh,
team is using Google. You're stuck using Bing. That's what's basically what's happening right now. All right,
I mean,
DDS,
yeah,
what are
this
your
should,
thoughts? Oh wait,
yeah.
you
I
got
do.
more?
No, go on, Didius.
I think it should be a 3-1 for EG. Like expect my expectations are that EG should be the better team.
Listen,
They should play better than Gen.G, and they
TDS, I
should
just
be
have
able
to
to take
say,
this series.
just have to
But
say the words EDG and expectations. They
well, they
just
did.
usually it's
They
usually not a good combo. I'm just gonna
Gen
but
say that.
G,
they did
dude,
break the
dude,
choke.
it's Gen G. It's Gen G.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they did
know.
break the choke. So at least that's positive out of EDG. They did break the curse, and they are in semifinals. The thing is, EDG, I really didn't like how they played the series against RNG. And it may be a lot of factors involved, but EDG has just been looking weaker and weaker the longer the tournament has gone on. Like at the start, they look strong. Then second week, they lose. They lose not only against T1, which I think are a better team than Gen.G overall, but are then lose to 100 Thieves. Then you go to a 5 game series against a team that is reliant on Crime being
One
able to move around the
strategy.
map
One
on one
strategy.
strategy, and you even lose against an Annie, which maybe it's not the worst of things, but I think that the Annie wasn't
Hey,
really
I
that
don't.
that
I
important.
will defend EDG here. I don't think they lost because of any.
No, I mean like you lose against an Annie. Like no, that I'm not meaning that they lost because of the Annie. I
It's
mean
just
they
the
lose against an
implication
Annie.
or
Yeah,
something.
it's just what it means to for that to happen. And the way that they even if they won the last game, like the last game was probably the best game that they won, but it felt once more like just being able to play against a team that doesn't know what else to do now because they don't have any other actual way to play the game. So
You want me to tell you when that happened as well? That happened in spring. That happened in summer. That also happening in Worlds. Yes,
yeah,
that's
it can
EDG.
happen at any
That's
point. The problem
EDG.
is that like yeah, that's the and the problem for me is that they can get punished and there's no lower bracket, so if they lose here it's over, and that's something that I can
Yeah.
see VG happening to them. Like they can just have the worst series of the year here and lose, and that's it. They don't have a chance, and that's also why I say like Genji, and we talked about this with Genji are the basic of the basic. They are the team that plays that you use as a baseline for how league should be played. They are
Yeah.
the textbook team.
Yeah.
And I think and
I think honestly, given how EDG does beat Gen G, that will be the good barometer on what we expect from them go in the finals.
yeah,
Because
like
yeah, that'll be the thing.
they should beat Gen.G. It's just how they beat them, right? But
Yes.
I also think that there's like with Gen.G and how EDG has been playing, I think that Gen.G can just 3-0 EDG.
What? No.
I think that Gen.G
No.
can 3-0
You
EDG.
think EDG will
No.
tilt out of their minds after game one
No.
and
No.
just
No.
I think
No.
absolutely
Gen.G can
No.
3-0 EDG.
No,
That's the saddest part.
I
yes.
think even if Genji wins the first game, as Miles and I concurred, that they download them and all of a sudden you play something and Genji is like, I don't know what to do. Because Genji has had those moments. They're like
Yeah, Gen.G has had
they're
that,
like
but
confused.
EDG EDG is not the fastest of teams either. They choke you out, but they don't choke you immediately. They
Yeah,
they
but
take your
yeah,
time.
yeah.
They choke you slowly but surely. And I think Genji would love that. Genji is one of the teams that if you're going to choke them out, if you take long enough, then they can begin turning the situation around for you. They don't know what early game is like. They don't know what mid game is like without a lead. But late game wise, their decision making late game, I think it's good. Like they
Yeah.
know that, and
I,
that's also why I think EDG is one of the best matchups possible for Gen G, because EDG will not choke you out that early. They will take their time to be sure that they choke you out. Koreanly. So
I
that's
mean,
also why I can see a Gen G just 3-0 them,
here's
3-0ing them.
here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with EDG, though. We saw how Genji played against Cloud9, where there were definitely moments that Cloud9 could have taken advantage of, but they weren't able to. I think if Genji throws at those particular moments and they're not able to, even if they do get a lead, let's say they get a lead, if EDG find an opening, they're not a team that will just let it go
yeah.
lying down. They're gonna strike
Because
back and they're
they're a
just going
Chinese
to
team.
absolutely, they're gonna take that opening and just widen the gap completely until they're back in the game. And
That's the hope.
they still
That's what I hope to see, because I really don't want Gen G on the finals. In all honesty.
why don't we go after this first off player by player in each position? Like in top lane, you have Flandre and Rascal.
I
What
take
do you guys think
Flandre.
of the matchup?
Flandre
I
is
take
better,
Yeah,
Flandre.
but
Flandre is
Like,
better. It
thing is,
makes
Flandre is
sense.
thing is,
better, but it doesn't matter.
no, it's like I think it will matter because what Rascal's been doing is Rascal's been playing a lot of Graves and a lot of these safe top laners, and Flandre is the kind of player who'd be like, yeah, you're doing that. I guess I'll pick something just to counter you because I can play that because Flandre can play everything at this point. So yeah,
I mean, Flandre has been
I
the
don't think
Graves
it'll
one
matter.
trick so far in this tournament,
I
mostly.
mean, maybe he's just playing Graves because no one has actually decided to counter him.
Yeah, cause
He's
I
like,
mean, like
eh.
looking at the EDG roster, would you want to counter Flandre out of all the
No,
people in there?
no,
No, but
no,
but the thing is,
no.
RNG. They played against RNG, and RNG is the most topside heavy team probably in the world, and they
Yeah,
never
I
picked a
would
counter pick.
say they are.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They never picked a counter pick into Flandre's Graves.
Is there a counter
They
pick to Flandre's
tried.
Graves? That's Jace, right? But it's kind of it's a mixed
Counter
bag.
pick, as a counter pick, I wouldn't say it's 100% a counter pick, but it's a put pressure on lane matchup where the Jace just tries to out
There
pressure you.
wasn't any that they didn't try to put pressure on him at all. Flandre was Graves, and he was just all chucking bullets. That's
It's
it.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. You know why? Because Genji will just play Renekton, thinking that it's going to work against the
Oh
Graves,
my
and
god.
they are just going to get punished, like they did,
Oh my gosh, you're gonna play
like they have
Renekton.
already done. Like that. I don't think draft wise Genji will get an advantage. I do think that it's not going to matter with top lane, just because even though Flandre can play some certain matchups that can counter, he doesn't fully get a lead out of that.
Yeah.
He's fine trading farm with you, which I think for Rascal it's probably the happiest of things, since he's one of the weakest of laners in the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
but
on.
if let's say Flandre does get Graves and he just outscales Rascal, there's not much
You
Rascal
can
can
do.
do in that case, right?
Don't worry, like it doesn't matter. Like they are willing to pick Renekton against almost anything. Genji doesn't care
Yeah,
about
that's
the
fair.
Rascal. I've come
Rascal
to realize
absolutely
that.
left on the island. Once you saw that
Like,
Renekton was fake, all right, it's obvious they don't care about top lane.
yeah, no, it's a thing. It's a thing of always, and it's the only team that has consistently devolved into picking Renekton as much as they want.
Yeah.
Which maybe it's comfort thing. It hasn't backfired, but it hasn't backfired because reminder, they went through a group that wasn't that good into a C9.
Yeah.
So it can backfire finally against the G. I hope it backfires because I want them to get punished. I don't want. I want to make myself clear again. I don't want Gen.G in the finals. I hate watching Gen.G. It's so
If we
sad.
get Gen.G versus DK in the finals, I don't know what to
Oh
tell
my
you, man. It's
God.
just gonna be.
No. Like the thing is, for me, who like if it ends up, I am expecting that if it ends up happening with my sad reality where Genji wins, the final is T1 that one. Like that. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think
No,
everyone accepts that
no,
already.
I honestly think if Gen.G gets to the finals with DK, even though I have to, this is my work. This is what I do. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch that series. I don't think I'm gonna watch the finals. This will be the first finals. I'll
Like
be like, yeah, I don't even need to watch it. I think it's gonna be three
yeah.
zero. I don't
I
even need
just
to watch it.
I put it like this. Like I told you about the time zone Dave and how I usually am asleep when the game is going on. For T1 Damwon, I'm going to stay late to watch it. For the finals, I'm thinking if
Just
it's
gonna
EDG and they look good, then maybe. But if it's NG, I'm sleeping. Like it's not
just
worth.
watch the replay
Yeah,
at that point.
Yeah, it's pretty much
replay.
that.
At that,
It's pretty much
if
that.
Gen.G versus DK happens, everyone's gonna ask Riot to change the format next year. I
Yes.
swear,
Yep,
because it's just
that would be good at least. At least it may work.
yeah, because straight up, it's not gonna be
I,
a fun
I,
finals if
I'm
they.
already advocating for Riot to change it.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
already
doing
advocating
that
for it.
since 4 seasons ago. Since I started watching TI, I'm already advocating for that. So
I
No, no,
mean,
no.
since I started
I'm
watching
just saying.
CS:GO,
I'm just
same.
saying. Can we please change the group stage system to a Swiss system? I've been advocating that for a long time.
The
I
Swiss
do
low
not care about
mentality.
double elims. I do not care about double elims because if you do it the Swiss system, you ensure that the best teams get out. That's always what happens.
That's fair. What about GSL groups? That's what Valorant does
I don't think that will work for this.
for League. You don't
Yeah,
think? You don't? Why not?
I don't think so.
Because the seeding is bad in
Yeah,
groups anyway.
yes,
yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah.
fair. Because in Valorant, I don't know. Valorant gets really good formats. We get GSL into double LM, and I'm like, yo, how do we get something this good? How did we get
No,
something this
no,
good and League gets shit?
but the thing is, GSL works, but I think the Swiss system would really work with League because if like because the Swiss system is basically a very elaborate best of one system. It's very elaborate,
I mean, but
but
it still makes sense, right? You just play the team. You play the team who is technically even with you. Like 1-3 plays against the 1-3.
yes,
The 2-3 plays against 2-3. 3-1
yes.
plays against
So
the.
you always play against evenly matched teams in terms of records, and that actually kind of sets the totem pole.
Mm.
I feel like that would be the best way to go forward. But
TDS, you have
you know,
opinion on this or like?
my like I'm someone that wants double elimination, but obviously changing the roots of the tournament is really important. I kind of come to the point where I want change. Like I don't
Just
care which
anything,
one.
anything, right?
Yeah,
Just give us
I
something.
just want I just want something
okay,
that
okay, right. I'll
changes
go
the
to a
system so that I
compromise.
can get more
Right,
fun.
I'll go to a compromise. Right, I'll go to a compromise. Let's say you don't want to change the entirety of the format. Sure, I just want to change one thing. It's just a one bullet point. Can you please change the rule where it says, "Hey, these two teams facing each other, so they have to be on the other side of the bracket." Can we please change that? Can we please
Yeah,
discard
like
that? I'm going to just say, okay, these two teams play against each other. They cannot be playing against each other in the semifinals, in the quarterfinals. Cool, done. Capiche?
yeah, that is
Done.
so.
Let's go. Let's go. I mean, that's like it's like something has to change at this point. Something has to change.
Yeah, honestly, like League is one of the world's biggest esports, right? And we get formats
Yeah.
like this. We get a max of 10. I saw on Reddit post. We get a maximum of 10 BO5s for the entire year, international BO5s,
Yeah,
and just like, oh, it's horrible. Like,
I do think the MSI format was pretty good, given what they had to come up with. Because
yeah, VCS couldn't make it, so well,
yeah,
it was kind of
no,
I don't know.
I
Best
mean,
of ones feeding into more best of ones feels like it just feels like crap. I don't know.
yeah, but the thing is with best of fives is, and it's been quite well documented that when you give more best of fives, the viewership kind.
I didn't quite hear you at the that one, Slayer.
No, the viewership quite decreases if you switch to a best of five or a best of three format. The viewership does decrease. It's actually true.
I mean, I get it, but
Yeah, because some teams just don't have the patience for it.
I mean, I get it, but you
Some
usually
some
just
people.
in normal sports you just watch the teams you want to watch, right? That's how it goes.
yeah, pretty much.
So
Like,
Yep.
like it works like that in almost every sport. Like, like I never understood the argument of of wanting to try to become an equal to sports or similar to sports, and then you go with the stupid things like, no, but we want everyone to watch every game. Like, that doesn't happen in real sports.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of Real Madrid, you watch Real Madrid. You don't care about any other team.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
watch I watch
Yeah.
most
Yeah.
leagues and I watch most teams,
Yeah.
but even
Yeah.
I don't watch
But
everything.
the thing is, you're not watching Real Madrid play 3 games back to back to back. That's what I mean.
No, yeah, no, but it's pretty much like with those things it can last close to what it lasts with a
Yeah.
football match. Like, it's 90 minutes and some more, so it's pretty much 2 hours. You can in a BO5 you can pretty much watch that. A
Yeah.
football match, it's pretty much a BO5
Yeah.
if it's short enough,
Yeah.
or
Like
a
Yeah.
BO3.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
at this point,
No, no. The problem is if you play a best of 3, what happens is if you see the first game and it's a stomp, everyone just closes. That does happen,
I mean, if it's a
and that's
best of
the
one and it's a stomp, then everyone just closes it regardless.
no, no. But you already watched the best of 1. You're moving into a different best of 1.
I mean, here's the thing though,
Like, I
Slayer.
understand the logic with that, but the problem is that you already, like, people already are willing to watch long games.
Like I think that in the grand scheme of things in international tournaments they can't afford to do it because they want the most viewership possible just so that they can get sponsors.
It's
So I don't think they're ever going to switch on a best of 1. The only thing they can do is change the format.
they
Also
need to change the
TDS, I think you
format.
need to fix your mic.
Yeah, TDS I think needs to fix his mic again.
Yeah.
Just completely conked out. But I
Yeah.
mean, if you don't want to take out best of one's fine. But as I said, give us the Swiss system, or
Yes.
give us some better group stage format with
Yeah.
better seeding, because otherwise it just ends up like this. Like, at this point, you get more viewership, but the viewers aren't really happy with what they're watching, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's complaining about how things goes, where we have like LCK
Yeah.
again on one side with LPL having to fight each other civil war again in the on one side of the bracket. So it's just like, I don't know,
To have
something needs to change. Anyway, what was the topic we were talking about before we came here?
We
uh
were talking about EDG Gen.G and EDG
EDG,
three
yeah.
ones
Oh
and
right,
yeah.
yeah. All right, I was gonna talk. I did want to bring something up about that particular matchup, which is the bot lane. We have Ruler and Life versus Viper and Mako.
Yes.
What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about
So
that
the
one?
thing is, Viper and Mako has not played the best they can,
Yep.
but I still think they're better.
Like, it's the underperforming bot lane against the simply not performing bot lane.
Yeah. It's it, I consider Viper and Mako the sleeping giants because they're still
Okay.
sleeping. They're still sleeping.
They're
They
still
haven't done
sleeping.
anything yet.
They're not
I
yet
think
there.
much
They're
more so
not awake.
Mako than Viper, but yeah.
Well, they have to wake up soon because they only get one chance every time in the best of 5 to get to the final, man. So they better set the alarm clock.
Which is
Yeah,
why
and
I'm
the
saying
problem
it's
is that
3-1. Which is why I'm saying it's 3-1 because they're gonna lose that first game, and then they're gonna wake up and be like, okay,
also, and
I
that
guess
also
it's
and that
business.
also is where my other fear kind of comes through, where Viper and Mako have been underperforming, I feel like, and I think it's much more so Mako than Viper. But
Yeah.
It makes
the
sense.
Ruler
Yeah.
and Life have simply not performed. So when they actually want to, what happens there, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's another fear of mine with Gen.G. Like, when Ruler actually wants to play, when Life actually wants to play, and if they do decide to go for a lane dominant lane where they actually can play, like, if they can win through bot lane,
Yeah,
So you're
I
telling
actually think
Ruler
the
to
big
play Varus, is what you're saying. No, I'm
no.
just kidding.
Like, I think if you're going to play Paris, play Kalista or something like that. But anyway,
I honestly think that the biggest lopsided matchup in this series is actually the jungle. I think JJ has played by far the best out of the ADG players.
yep.
That's true.
like
That's true.
like
That's true.
like I go back to the last series and every time JJ is there, he just goes in, smites, runs away. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's there. He's gonna smite it, and he just smites it again. I'm like,
I'm glad I hyped JJ up
no,
before in the
no,
episode that never existed.
no. Like in those moments, I was like, what is Wei doing? And then how is JJ getting away? That's every single time I was doing that. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
what?
JJ felt like probably the better jungler in that game.
Yeah.
One
That
thing though
series.
that Klee does have, even though he can be running straight up running it sometimes, it's that his smites are almost always on point. So that's at least a good
That's
thing
true.
for Gen.G.
It's a
Man
Like
mathematical
smites.
listen. It's a
almost
mathematical
always.
equation. You can always time it right. It's a
Yeah.
mathematical equation.
Exactly. So even if you are bad, if we are playing straight up bad or just inting, if you time it right, you can win the game for your team with a good smite. So at least
And
for
then
Clean,
everyone
it
forgets
may be a
about
positive, but I do agree with you 100%. Like it's JJ favorite that matchup. Like it's
and
so JJ
then
favorite.
everyone forgets you running it in the early game because you got that one clutch smite that won you the game.
Yeah, because they were doing they're doing Baron, and all of a sudden you come in, take Baron, get out. Okay, sure.
The worst,
I
the
guess
worst that they took the Baron and then they just dispersed. Like it just happened like that, and you kind of get surprised by how easy it was.
Yeah, I think that happened in the game I casted like this yesterday, where like the jungler was getting out jungled. Then he got the one clutch smite onto the Baron. He was 1-5-10 Lee Sin, but he got that clutch Baron steal, and then stabilized the game for his team, and then they won.
just one smite.
That
Solo queue players just one smite.
It's just
That's
one
what
yeah,
you need.
smite.
pretty
Actually,
much.
yeah, if you're able to time your smite well enough, it's just game winning. Honestly, a smite
Yeah.
steal can change everything.
Yeah.
So something to consider, I guess, when it comes to the jungle matchup. What about mid, guys? BDD, as we
I
said,
think BDD
playing the
is
tournament of his
favored.
life versus
Playing
Scout.
out. Yeah, BD is playing out of his mind, and
I
Scout's
think
been
it's
playing
BDD
how
favored.
he usually plays. So it has to be slightly BDD favored. But if Scout comes in and says no, I wouldn't be surprised. If Scouts comes in and say no, not on my watch, then I wouldn't be surprised. Because because Scout can be the best mid laner when he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Scout. We saw Scout in the LPL. Not that it feels like it matters right now, because saying the team, oh, this team was good in the LPL. Then at the Worlds, they should shit. They just shit the bed, apparently, because they just do that. But
Because Hopium is
EDG
not that good.
Scout. Wait, what'd you say?
What?
Back.
What'd you
What?
say?
LPL is not that good, really.
Screw you,
What
screw you,
happens?
TDS. Shut.
Listen, listen. Listen. When the weekend ends and then when we reconvene again, I'll be the first one to say I told you so. When everything turns up to be that LCK is just a one team region and Damwon just beat the shit out of T1 and then EDG beat the shit out of Gen.G and then we're all like, yeah,
And then
LCK
Gen.G
is a
wins
one
finals,
team.
right?
See, jokes on you. I don't mind if it's a one team region because I come from the T1 era, so I'm okay with that.
No.
Like people made it make it sound like that's
Oh
bad, but
no.
T1 era was a thing, and it was mostly T1 winning for the LCK to be shown as the best region. So as long as that one wins, like
Actually,
you can say
T1.
one team
Actually,
region, but
T1 at that point it was not a one-team era. Longzhu still existed. Rox Tiger still existed. Gen.G still like Samsung still existed. So
okay,
there
there
were
are four
teams
teams.
that were
There
good.
are,
No, no, but
yeah,
there were
there are
teams that
three
were
teams.
good.
There are
No, no,
three teams in
no, 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 no,
semifinals.
no, 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 no.
There are three teams in
What I mean
semifinals.
by a one-team region is when you face against stronger opponents, which you're supposed to, it's supposed to be nip and tuck. It's supposed to be close, and it's not. That's when you decide it's a one-team region.
You know
The
what,
thing is
guys?
that with League, I don't think that's true with League. Just because League is so determined by so many things that actually don't have that much power. Like in Champions League, you have to at least two games before finals. So if you play bad one, you have the other one. In here, if you play one bad BO5, you're out. You don't have a second chance. So
But it's
I
a
don't think
BO5.
for League is that true.
Also,
A BO,
also,
yeah, but,
guys.
but BO5 is on the same day.
You
So
know,
if you have a bad day, you have a bad day. You're out.
you know, it'd be amazing. TDS like predicting Korea to win for the entire tournament. He's being right every single time. Then at the finals, EDG wins. That would be the most amazing timeline ever.
It would be
Yes.
hilarious. I wouldn't even be against it just because I like Piper.
That would be the most amazing timeline ever.
Listen,
I wouldn't be against
listen,
it. I like
listen. If
Piper, so it's
EDG
okay.
wins, if EDG wins Worlds, everyone will be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, how did that happen?
It's
Like,
Like,
what
don't
literally
get
the
me
like
wrong.
fuck?
I'm okay with EDG winning,
You you know
just
you know
because
you know
Piper.
honestly honestly, if it's EDG DK, I would really watch that series close.
I
Yeah, I
would.
I
think
think
that I
that'd be
think that
very fun.
it's a much more exciting like it's an exciting series. Like that's also why I mean I want to like I need to see how Gen.G and EDG goes because if even if EDG wins, if they win in a really sloppy manner, I wouldn't be that excited.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next series, guys, because well, we kind of went off on a limbo.
I mean,
Yep.
I know that's fine. I think we can. We said this would be a bit shorter episode, so I just wanted to shoot the shit, and talk about talk about whatever when it comes to the matchups,
Yeah,
guys. So
He
just to
derailed us.
finish.
He derailed us.
I know, no, I don't
I
care about
never did
derailing. That's not the point.
anything. I just want to end with something, so just so it's made clear.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
don't want Gen.G in finals. So EDG, please win. I just simply dislike Gen.G in finals. That's it. Just like please EDG do it.
Just continue the LPL versus LCK streak in the finals every time. Let's
Yes.
go, EDG. You
Yes.
can make it. First finals appearance, and if Flanjay wins, he will be the first solo laner that's not a Korean to win
Non-Korean.
and we to win since
No, he will be
2013.
the first non-Korean top
Wait, wait.
because they still
Gimgu?
get a mid lane
Gimgu?
in Korean.
It's Korean.
Gimgu?
It's Korean.
Gimgu was Korean?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Huh.
Gimgun's
Huh.
Korean. You didn't know, sir.
Yeah. Every Worlds has been won by a Korean mid and top. Every Worlds.
Since 2013, because 2012 it was TPA that won. So
I don't. Well, TPA. Yeah, TPA is better. Like I don't count
I'm
season one, but TPA was good. Yep.
hey, TPA
I'm
TPA
okay with
was
it.
pretty good. That was a pretty good
Yeah, I'm
Worlds.
okay
TP1
with
is
TPA.
season
I'm
2
okay
though.
with TPA.
TP1 is season 2 though, right?
Yeah, season 2.
TPA won season 2.
Yeah.
Fnatic won season 1.
Yeah.
That,
I
that
mean, no one
is-
counts the Fnatic one. No one counts that one.
Everyone counts
Yeah,
the TPA
it
one, so
didn't have
TPA are
much
like,
game.
hell yeah, let's go. PCS right now. We have one Worlds, baby. All right. Anyway, all right. Enough about EDG versus Gen.G. Now let's talk about the actual finals of Worlds.
No, that's not the finals. EDG versus Damwon will be the finals. I'm sorry.
If it does become
Yeah.
EDG versus them one, but if it's Gen.G that wins, this is gonna be the finals of Worlds. This
You
is gonna
can
be the
you
finals.
can just call it you can call it the finals only when in hindsight it was better.
Okay,
Yes.
that's fair. Yeah, that's true.
Like Rock's T1.
Yeah.
Man, that was such a good best of 5 series, man. The Rocks versus T1.
I mean, KTIG.
SKT. I'm gonna call them
KTIG.
T1. I'm gonna call them SKT. Screw you,
KTG was
TDS.
really good as well. The thing is I'm already stuck with T1, so it's unlucky. It's an unlucky happening.
Man, I still have to separate myself like SKT and T1 because they feel like such different teams, even though they still have
They are
Faker.
different teams. They are different teams.
No, even as an
Yeah, it's pretty
organization,
much a
Right.
different team.
That's the
SKT
point.
SKT gave you a different feeling when it came
No, no.
when it comes to them
No.
fighting.
Listen, SKT was the dynasty. T1 is not.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's go. Let's get to it. DK versus T1. Tournament favorites Damwon Kia versus I mean T1's playing a lot better than they did in the LCK. Let's be honest. They're playing so much better.
But so is
right now.
Damwon. So is Damwon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And I'm going to predict this is going to be the same thing we saw in the LCK summer finals. Damwon playing around with their food.
all right.
That's
TDS.
what's going to happen.
TDS.
I don't think he'll
since
be
this is
playing with their
CSU,
foot, but I do think it's 3-1.
3-1 Damwon.
I think it's 3-1
No.
Damwon.
I
Alright,
also
you guys
think
heard
it's
it.
I,
T1
I
can take it
also
back.
think I also think it's 3-1, and the one is going to be how T1 won the first game in the LCK finals as well, when they kept diving a cannon on and on and on and dying.
Yep.
That was like, yeah, we're good. We will still keep diving him, and we'll still give up ourselves. Let them have a win. But yeah,
That
this is way too DK favored at this point.
That was the most Naguri that Khan has looked for the entire tournament. He just
Yes.
died over and
Yes.
over again, and then won every team fight. for
It's
his
not just
team.
Khan. It's not just Khan. Canyon did the same thing. I was like, oh, Khan and Canyon were like, yeah, hey Kana, you want a few kills? We're just gonna give you 7 of them in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, but all right, guys, you heard it from TDS first. 3-1 for DK. Our resident T1 Hopium Colombian dealer, Colombian Hopium dealer, has said that it's
Like-
gonna be a 3-1 for DK.
Yeah, I'm
No
a
way,
fan of
there's no
T1
way.
and all, but I'm an analyst first and foremost, and
No,
I need to see
no,
what happens. So
There is
I do think
like,
it's Damwon.
like the way I analyze this series, it's like T1's been playing how they've been playing all through Worlds. They play through macro, they gain leads early game, and then they play through their macro and just control the game and win. That's T1's formula.
Yeah.
The problem is that when T1 doesn't have a lead, they're not very good.
True, that's
Yeah.
fair enough.
I think it's the complete opposite of what Damwon is, where they just understand
They're just
every Like no, but
No,
it's not just
it's
good.
not the
It's they
I wouldn't say it's
understand.
the complete opposite. I don't think it's the complete opposite. It's more like,
Yeah,
hey,
no, it's not the complete opposite, but it's the sense where Damwon just simply understand the facets of each point of the game where they can do things. They can like if they lose early game, they know when what they need to do later on. So it's not just yeah we lost early game, we need to force things. No, it's at what point do we need to force things,
yeah.
and
If
they are the best team
DK
at
has a lead
understanding that.
early game, if DK has a lead early game, they'll just choke you out. If DK
Listen,
doesn't have a lead early game,
They will wait for the chance.
they'll outfight you to death.
listen, guys. DK pulled a Mad on Mad. Let's be real.
Yes,
Let's
yes.
be real. What happened? Like Mad got outmadded by DKs. That doesn't tell you how good these guys
Yeah.
are. Just
It
let
was
let's not
it
be.
was originally an SKT, so it's
All
not
right,
that it's
TDS.
strange for a Korean team to pull
Sure,
it off.
sure,
Honestly,
sure.
All right, TDS. I mean that's fair. I mean the team fighting come from DK is just absolutely superb from this tournament.
Yeah.
Ghost and Barrel from MSI absolutely improved. I'm not sure if just because of the change in the bot lane meta, whether Barrel's allowed to play Genshin or not on Yumi, that's allowing him to
no,
really.
but that series from like the Canyon was the talk of the series, and
Yeah,
with fair enough because he did play amazingly, but
I mean, I
Beryl,
mean, uh, what is the biggest mismatch other than Canyon and Owner? What's the
I don't
biggest
think that's.
mismatch ever?
I honestly think that people are undervaluing way too much Owner. I think that Owner is the second best jungler in this tournament, and I think that he can fight
Yeah,
Canyon.
yeah. But he might be, but there's a difference between Canyon and Owner.
I think it's not
It's
that big.
Canyon.
I
It's
honestly think that it's not that big.
Canyon.
Yeah, I honestly think it's not that
Listen,
big.
listen. Everyone, even the casters, say it's the jungle canyon. It's the jungle canyon. That's
I
what Canyon does.
mean,
That's so
it's
that's
just
fine. Like they can say whatever they want. That doesn't mean that
No.
it's one hundred
His
percent true.
name is Canyon. He creates that for himself. That's what he does.
Yeah,
He's been doing it.
he was originally the on the other side of the canyon when he started, right? Like he was getting Jungle Canyon by Tarzan originally. So it's nice that it's finally going his way. But even though he's really good, I still think that people are undervaluing way too much Owner. Owner can fight against Canyon. Like they can bring whatever they want with Owner and anything like that, and they can say in the finals Canyon outplayed him. But
Uh, I mean,
people
I
need
mean,
to still understand that Owner is a
I
here,
rookie.
mean,
This is first
li-
Worlds.
li-
This was
here's
his
my
first
question.
finals.
Here's my question for you, TDS though. How much do you think Owner is propped up by Faker's playstyle right now in the current meta?
Uh, I think
Because
just enough.
Faker's sacking his lane to help his teammates.
Yeah, I think it's just enough. I
yeah,
don't think it's as much as people make it sound. I think it's just enough to allow the jungler to play well. But I think that Owner does a lot of things
yeah.
that people don't give him credit for.
Yeah. The problem with T1 they'll face is the top side of the map. It's much better for DK. It's much better. It's like Khan, Kenyan, Showmaker. It can't get any better. It can't.
Yeah, I mean, put Naguri there, I guess, but like,
No. I
Mm,
don't think so. I don't think so because if you've seen Khan, Khan's playing as good as Nagari.
no, no,
Khan's
no,
playing as good as Nagari
it,
last year.
no. I
It's
mean, he
it's
is.
it's
I mean,
madness.
he is constantly having a really really good tournament. I'm saying like for in the
Listen,
future
listen. At
since
this
Khan's
rate,
retiring.
if listen, if at this rate, if DK goes to finals and wins, Khan should get MVP. It's not
I
even
think
a
it probably
question.
will.
It
It'll end up going to Canyon though, but yeah, I
no
think
no
Ken has been
no.
performing amazingly.
It's like it's not even a question at this point. Like how good Khan's been. Like it doesn't matter if he's camped or not. He's
Has
No,
just.
has there been a
I
player
mean, it
that's
probably will
won?
end up going to
I mean,
Canyon just because of the narrative.
that's the thing, right? Khan's come into this team and all of a sudden he's looked this good,
Has
and nobody was this good in down one as well. Like it's like you realize there's two different top laners and they're playing just as good. Something has to give there. There's some secret sauce in down one. There's some secret sauce.
I also think FPX had something bad in them, but maybe that's just me.
they had the
I don't.
FX had the opposite of what that one has, right?
Yeah, that one is good. FPX is bad. So whoever, any Korean top laners that want to go to LPL, don't go to FPX. Don't
Yeah.
risk it.
As I said, FX might end up blowing their roster
Listen,
up at
there's
the
an
end of the
open.
day.
Yeah, there. I
There's
mean,
an open
FPX should
spot.
blow up their roster, but yeah. Let's move on.
All right,
Uh,
we're moving on. Like we have the top lane, right? We have the top side of DK. Let's talk about the
the
bot
problem
side
is,
this time. Barrel and Ghost
okay.
versus Keria and Gumayushi.
It is Kuma Carrier favored,
Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
It
I
is Guma
100%
Carrier
agree.
favored, but I don't think they're gonna win lane because Ghost and Beryl don't lose lanes. It's kind of weird, but they don't lose lanes. I'm like, how is that possible? They don't lose lanes. Why? Because because Ghost plays Jin. You can't win lane.
Ghost
Like
plays
Jin
Jin.
can't lose lane.
It
Jin
just
can't
feels
lose
like
lane. Jin can't
Well,
lose
Kuma
lanes.
Carrier
That's what
are good at
happens.
punishing players that don't lose lanes.
Yeah.
They are one of the bot lanes that punish you even if you don't lose lanes. So there may be avenues for that happening. I also like for Ghost and Burial particularly, I think that one of the things that they do is that they use the idea of the top side really effectively, and
Yeah.
and it's that they when every team sees Damon, they like you're saying, they see the top side, they see Ghost Barrel, and I think
Yeah.
that Ghost Barrel utilize that presence really well in their
hmm
favor.
That's
I
true.
mean, the thing is, I think Ghost and Better realize, yeah, we're not gonna get any jungle attention. We're just alone here. We're just living on an island,
I think
and they
even
understand this, and they understand this. Everyone understands this, and they play exactly like that.
I think
You
Ghost is the one
can't.
that understands that more. He's not gonna get any help whatsoever. Barrel's
Yeah,
just
Burial
even
usually just
Barrel's like,
leaves.
all right, Ghost, good luck.
Burial usually just leaves.
Like the funny thing about Ghost is, even though Ghost doesn't get any resources, Ghost actually does a good job in team fights.
No,
It's
no, no.
kind of mad. Like he still has something to give to this team, and
Wait,
I'm like,
what is the
how is
damage
this?
share?
He's probably around what 20% or something.
Wait,
I don't have the data on it, but
I'm
it
gonna
should be one of the higher, I think.
I'm gonna look at wait, let me look at Ghost and what this differential is. You guys keep talking about something. You guys keep talking about the bot lane.
About something.
I mean, the thing with what will define this bot lane matchup a lot is who roams first, Beryl or Carrier, because they're both going to be like Carrier's roaming more now, based on their quarterfinals, and Beryl's always been the roaming support. So who roams
Yep.
more? That'll be the bigger important. Like it's jungle support again. Like I am going to say one thing. T1, if you're listening, please don't give DK uh, Olaf Yumi. You're not gonna win that series anymore. You're not gonna win
Olaf
that game anymore.
Olaf Yumi plus misfortune. Ah, it's
No,
over.
no. If you're
Never
gonna
ask.
no,
Never
if
ask.
you're gonna give Olaf to Canyon and Yumi to Beryl, you're not winning that. You're not winning that game anymore.
Never ask T1 to ban anything because they certainly will not. They never ask T1 to draft anything and nothing draft based for T1 because they will just
And the other
shoot
thing I
themselves
think
in the
I,
foot.
I think people don't realize because they haven't if they haven't been following T1 closely, T1 and DK closely during the split. T1 fired their coaches, and their coaches are now in DK's
There's no
coaching
coach.
staff. Now
Yep.
in DK's coaching staff. So yeah, I think T1 doesn't have any secrets to hide from Damwon, and Damwon probably does. So yeah, take it as you will.
But there is a universe where the fact that they just fight that they just took them out of the team, they have now strats that those coaches don't know. I won't expect that because you don't have coaches yourself, but but yeah, I think that was the best that could happen to T1 though. Like that was the best in terms of allowing them to play more freely, but but it also benefited Damon so much because those coaches allowed play really well to what Damon plays, and
Yes,
it just was an extra bonus.
they're just good for Damwon.
Yep.
Who knew? Who knew? Versatile team allows a versatile coach.
I just
So
realized
Miles, where's the
Khan
stat?
I just realized Khan has a 31% damage share on Dam 1K right now.
Of course he does.
Oh my gosh, that's absolutely nuts. That's
What's
That,
Ghost?
that
absolutely
makes sense.
What's
Ghost is
Ghost?
Ghost higher than Ghost is 22%. Respectable.
As I expected. As I
It's not
expected.
bad. It's not bad. It's
Yeah.
respectable. Yeah.
I mean, Khan does 31. Let's call it
Yeah.
that.
I mean, considering the amount of resources DK puts top, and especially since considering the meta right now, which for people who don't know, the meta right now is actually just play towards the top side of the map because the Rift Herald gives you so much right now in terms of tempo, in terms of resources, especially if you manage to get to
Yeah.
tier 2.
The other thing I want to mention, two things actually. One, T1 has only beaten DK once in a series, including playoffs. in the entire year. And that was the one time when DK was playing its worst. Yes. Not a good sign. Second, T1 will always fight for Herald.
Yeah.
T1 will always fight for Herald, where DK will be like, you want Herald? If we're there, we'll fight you, or if we're not, sure, take it.
We'll just
Who
trade.
cares?
We'll just trade.
Who cares? Who cares? Yeah, they were like, who cares?
The problem is, I think for them one, they don't want to give it away
Yeah,
because
they don't. No, they don't want to give it away. But if you're not in position, they'll give it away. They don't care.
I don't think that's going to be the case. Honestly, I think that we're going to see a series where every chance they get, they're going to fight for Herald. Just because, like I was saying with Mad, like even if they are standing bad, like I think they're going to try and force a fight. Just because, like we were saying with Mad, the only way that you can like there's two ways to win against someone pretty much: destroy them, outplay them in teamfights, or destroy them in early game. And T1, if they do get that Herald advantage, they may be able to get enough of a lead to be able to win against someone. So I
I
think that
don't think so.
Damwon will try and think
I
like and
think
play
Damwon
around that.
plays very well without leads. I think Damwon plays extremely well without
That may
leads.
be true, but you don't want to give
Maybe
away a
true.
lead to
He
T1.
does that. They do that. It's not maybe true. They
No,
always do it.
I don't say it's
Damwon's
maybe true. I'm
identity.
saying that may be true. That may be true, which is like it may be a reality, but you don't want to give a lead to T1
You don't want to
either.
give T1 the chance, basically, to
Yeah, exactly.
actually
You don't
snowball.
want to give the lead to T1. Like Damwon may be okay with that, but you don't want to give away the lead to T1 because that's their best way to win the series. And
Yeah.
I'm still dying by this hill with something that I mentioned. I think that T1 have better overall players than Damwon. So like
Not even
I
close.
think that they have the highest ceiling team in the world. So if they are on point in the series, if you give them the lead, we
Hold
can
on,
run
hold
with
on,
that.
hold on. I will challenge you on that. Do you think at any point Kana speak is better than Kana speak? No.
Yep.
Do you? No.
What?
No.
Can I
No.
speak? If it's speak, yes. Peak?
No.
I mean, have you seen Khan speak all those years ago? Has Khan reached
So,
that?
I just need to remind something. Kana has 20 years. Kan is 26.
Listen.
Like there's still time for his peak. Just saying.
Listen. If there's a Hall of Fame for the LCK, Khan will be the first top laner to go there.
No,
It's Smeb.
Yes.
Come on, give it
that's
to
not true.
Smeb. Give it to
Smeb,
Smeb.
Flame,
No, it's,
Smeb,
no, no,
Flame
no.
are
It's not.
first.
It's not Smeb. It's not Flame because they never won a championship.
Have they
That-
not? Smeb
Never.
has won. Yes.
Smeb has championship in Korea. Yes.
Yeah,
They
yes.
had. They won.
No, championship, world championship.
Okay, yeah. Kan needs to win this one first before actually saying that.
He will.
I'm just
And he
saying he
will.
needs to first
No,
win
I,
it.
I, I would still give it to
It's like
Smeb.
that,
That's the
how
best top
and if it's
laner.
like that, there's 3 from
No,
T1 that have won
no.
already.
No, but
Listen,
the
man.
thing is,
This
so
Korea.
just-
We're top. Look at the top laners Korea has produced, man. We have the Shy. We have
Yeah,
the Shy.
they-
We have fuck.
the
We
Shy
have
Shy is
can
not
fucking.
going in the
Here.
LCK
Alright,
Hall
no,
of
no.
Fame.
The Shy
Sorry,
The
can
Shy
also
is
beat
not
Dr.
going in the
Here.
LCK Hall of Fame.
Sorry,
It's like he
Slayer.
doesn't
Not the Shy. Shy.
But he can beat Dr. Well, the original Shy.
The original Shy. The original Shy. There's
Like,
original
in
Shy.
Dr.
and there's like.
but,
It's even like I
but
think
if you
LCK is
take-
also
but
one of
if
the
you-
regions where they don't value they can ignore Worlds to a certain point because they have won it so consistently that they may value the region much more.
if you take
I agree with
three,
TDS there.
yeah, but if
Commander
you
that
take
ruler won Worlds without winning LCK.
yeah,
So yeah.
but if you take 3 top laners that'll go to the Hall of Fame first from the plane, it'll be like
Smeb,
it'll be
Shy.
Smeb, Marin,
maybe
and Khan. It'll be
Marin?
Smeb, Marin, and Khan.
Fuck that.
Marin
man.
has Worlds, so it makes sense. Marin has
Marin,
Worlds, so it makes
Marin
sense.
completely dominated 2 years.
It was,
Completely dominated.
Yeah, they won the 2015 year where they didn't win MSI, the only tournament that they didn't win. Marin dominated that year, so Marin makes sense based on
Yeah.
Korean standards, I would say.
Yes.
I can't justifiably put Marin over Shy, Flame, or like or Smeb.
Player
I just
wise,
can't.
no,
I
but
can't.
but I think
That's not the point. When you're putting someone in the Hall of Fame, it's counted to how they played and what they got. Their achievement.
like for me, the problem with that logic is that evaluating the peak of a player that started last year to the peak of a player that has been playing 5 years now, or maybe more. If I'm not wrong, he started playing since season 2. It's first of all hard, and secondly, we don't even know if Kana has already hit his peak. So
Yeah, but I'm saying is from the moment Khan came into the LCK, he was already dominant.
Kana was dominant as well when he started on the SK.
No.
Reminder, he won his first tournament.
Which was one split. Khan was dominant for 2 years.
he he won the LCK on the second LCK that he played, I think, which was
Yeah,
on summer
Kana
of
had that.
2017. He
Yeah,
then won spring and then completely fell over,
yes,
with that falling over as well in
yeah,
words.
yeah.
So I wouldn't call that dominating. I would say he had two good splits and then kind of fell over
Yeah,
a little bit. But then came back.
But Khan was dominant for 2-3 years in the LCK. It was not even a question at one point. They were putting him in the conversation of the best top laner while Smeb was still active. That's how good Khan was. We fail to realize the competition that Khan had that Khan had to play against. We discount that.
I mean, that's fair,
What?
I guess.
Like
But you say
Khan
the
was
Like,
top lane
Khan
in
was playing against Meb. Khan was playing against uh,
and
uh
Kana has been playing against Can.
no,
Khan's been playing against
yeah, just Khan. No, like
Wait.
And
Khan's
Keen,
been
that
playing
who
against
has a really
Khan
good
been
top
playing
laner.
against
Summit was
Keen.
still a
Khan
really
is
good top
playing against
laner.
Cube. Khan is playing against Summit.
I
Like
wouldn't call QB during 2018 a
There's
really
a
nice
17,
fight. Like QB,
17.
but yeah, QB he picks during Gauntlet and Worlds, not during normal LCK. He's not good around that times. I can
Yeah,
understand if you say that during Worlds, but at any other point QB wasn't that great.
all right. There was still Duke playing, so Khan had to face against him. I
Duke
believe
played. No, Duke went away. Duke played to
2016,
2016.
2016.
2017, Duke went away.
no. Khan was active since for a long time. We're
Yeah,
talking about
Ken has been
Khan.
playing since season 2 or 3, I think. That's also what I mean. Trying to compare the peak of a player that
No,
has
no, no,
20, 19,
no, no,
20 years
no,
to one
no,
that
no.
is
What I mean,
27, it's hard.
no, no. What I mean by this is I'm not comparing both the players. I'm complaining about the fact that when Khan was at his peak, right, he was playing against the likes of Smeb, the likes of Summit, the likes of
Yeah, and he failed.
no, but he was in the conversation during DLCK as one of the best top laners available, even during when Smeb was active. He failed only at Worlds.
He failed at Worlds, and he
His
failed
fail,
both times
his
internationally,
no,
and he
no, his
failed
no,
then
no,
on
no,
Summer in,
his fa-
in
he, no,
2018.
his failure was in the mostly in the international stage. It was never domestically. That's what I'm saying.
Domestically, he did fail a couple of times. He
Yeah,
has one. He has one. He in the years that he played since 2017 with Longju and Longju, King Zone. That was the next one, and
yeah,
then on
but
T1,
that was
and
not
then
a
on
problem of
TestKT.
Khan. That was not a problem of Khan. That
But
was
he
not a
did
Khan
fail.
problem.
Like the problem is that you cannot. I also don't agree that you cannot separate team failure from team players as well. Like even though they may look good, they still have something to do with that team. So
Yeah,
failure is a 5-man thing.
yeah,
So it had to do with Ken.
yeah, yeah.
So
But
guys, guys,
yeah.
we're getting super off topic here when it comes. We're going all the way to esports history. Wait,
Yes.
wait 1 second.
But like I was saying, that I do not believe that T1 is the best team on peak because you have Khan, you have Canyon, and you have Showmaker. These three players, and even Beryl from last year.
I would take
Beryl,
Carry over Barrow from last year.
no, I
I
mean
would take
sure,
Carry over
but
Barrow from last year. I
sure,
think that even when Damwon won, Carry last year was a better support.
yeah, sure, but if you look at it, it's not that far apart. The
I,
difference
I
is not
don't, I
that
don't,
big.
yeah, it doesn't have to be that far apart. I do agree
Yeah,
with that,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
I do still take T1's
but
roster.
yeah.
Like T1's roster, if they play to their maximum, I think they're better than Damwon's.
Oh, they're not. I
Yeah,
disagree. I
they are.
completely disagree.
Well,
I
first of
th-
all,
I
they do
think
have the code. If he plays to his maximum potential, he should be able to win against Showmaker
I no
100%.
I I do like I think that we have not seen best Showmaker can show till to
Yeah,
this
and we
day.
haven't seen Best Faker either.
No, no, no.
Haven't seen
We have
Best
seen the
Faker
best
in a while
Faker.
though.
Yeah,
No,
That's
no,
the big
yeah,
problem.
it's something I haven't
no.
seen in a long time.
We haven't seen the
I'm
best
not
Faker
banking on
in a
that.
really long time.
I don't agree in a really long time. I think that 2019 was really, really exaggerated by
Yeah.
people.
I mean, Faker was pretty good 2019. He was.
No, Faker was pretty good, but Faker was not the best he could be. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree, but I'm still saying
I mean,
if it's peak T1, I think they win against peak Damwon.
I mean, to be fair,
No.
Faker's best is that he absolutely changed the game for mid lane in 2013 and just dumpstered everyone else to the
Now,
point
Faker's
like.
best is 2017.
All right, yeah, 2017. Yeah, that's fair. Where he has I don't know. How would you consider? Would you consider like changing the
I think
standard for mid
changing
lane,
he changed the
or
game.
carrying,
No, he changed
or
the game.
carrying that
Look,
hard?
for me, changing the game was really important because it showcased what Faker was capable of doing. But I think that 2017 cemented his greatness because of how good he was.
That's fair. That's fair. When
Yeah.
you're able to carry that kind of team all the way to the Worlds Finals, probably speaks to your ability
Yeah.
as a
I
player.
think the thing much more for me is that with the evolution of the game was much more tactical, and he still was able to do a lot of great things.
Yeah.
So it was way better than like 2013 was good because it was still a new game, but he was able to show greatness. But on 2017, the game was developed and he still showed so much power. So that's why. But well, still speaking, like for that one, I still like just so it doesn't misinterpret. I think that one it's a clear favorite. Like they should win 3-1, 3-0 even.
Yeah.
If because T1 can be do a lot of dumb things. But I think that Team One is not getting the credit they deserve to be able to take this series. I think that there's a chance that T1 can also take it 3-0.
No way.
I don't know about the 301 TDS.
No way. No
I
way,
don't know
Can,
man.
about the
I think there's a
301.
chance that T1 can take it 3-0.
What's the percentage?
5.
10. I would say 10.
10. Okay. All right.
Five.
Doubling
I
Slayer.
think the more realistic way that T1 wins this series is 3-2.
I'll go
Listen.
for a 7.5.
I think the more realistic way that T1 wins is a 5-game series. Like that's the more
Yeah, that's the
realistic
most
one.
realistic way they win.
Yeah.
3-0. I of course the possibilities there.
I think the only way T1 wins the series if DK comes in gets out of bed with the worst possible day ever.
If they give Showmaker beef noodles. I'm not gonna let that joke ever go. Nami, thank you for giving me all that material.
Yeah.
Let me will
I think that
close you
wraps it
to
up
your
for
dad.
us, correct, guys?
Listen,
I think that
Nami
wraps
is
it
now
up.
immortalized in international
Yeah.
stage because of me.
Yeah.
He had his
I think
domestic
that-
success, TDS. I think he's happy. He's fine. He's absolutely fine.
Well, yeah, maybe it is like that.
and, and EDG's even in EDG's in the semifinals. So anyway, all right. So final predictions for DK versus T1, guys. Slayer, you were saying
3-1.
you two TDS T1.
You know what? Fuck it. 3-1 T1. Fuck it.
Hopium.
Fuck it.
He smoked it.
I'll go with
He
my
smoked
Hopium.
it.
Fucking-
Listen.
I want to smoke that.
Listen, guys.
Sweet,
Listen,
sweet
guys.
Hopium.
Listen, guys.
Hopium.
Listen, guys. The reason he doesn't have a webcam is not because his webcam is not working. It's because he's dosing that hopium right now with the
I can't show it on
canister.
YouTube.
I'm high on the vaccine, and added to that, I have 2 liters of the Hopium here. 2 gallons of Hopium around me as well.
I can't show on YouTube. The Colombian opium strikes again.
Yeah.
All right.
Colombia is not for a lot of things, so it makes sense.
All right, guys. So we have two. Am I the tiebreaker? I still think DK is gonna win. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna give it.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it a 3-0.
It's okay. When T1 wins against a lot, it'll feel even better.
If T1 wins, I think TDS will just be renamed to the Prophet.
Yes.
Now I don't come anymore to record. I just elevated to a new plane of existence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
he just becomes the Prophet. Actually, the prediction.
I begin flying
prediction
thanks to the amounts of hopium that I ingested.
You ingested so much hopium, it became a reality. That's what you said.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Oh my gosh. All right. So we have our predictions. I don't know. Me and Slayer, we still think it's going to be DK taking it. TDS, he's smoking the hopium. Going for the T1 prediction. I can see it. It's not like we can't see it as a possibility. Right, Slayer?
The
It's
problem is how high
possible.
it is, right? The problem is how high is the possibility.
Yeah, how high of a
Yeah.
possibility are we going for here? Slayer thinks it's 5%.
It's not 5%. It's 5%. It's not very high.
No,
I'm sorry.
Like,
Like
if
a
a 3-1,
high
not a 3-0.
possibility, for example, was EDG RNG, where you could see any of the two winning. And T1 that one is not a high possibility.
I honestly will say that the chances of T1 winning this series is only 15%.
15.
I think
That's how
15,
low I give it.
I think 15. I think 15-20% is it's the best. The best, no, but the most realistic. I also do
Yeah.
want to say that if it reaches 5 games, I would give much more favor to T1 in 5 games,
Because they have
just
Faker.
I wouldn't.
because of history.
I actually think if it's 5 games, I think DK would have the higher edge because, well, we know how clutch Showmaker can be.
Man, Faker.
I mean, it's Faker too.
Hmm?
It's Faker too, but the thing is, that's the thing. Like Showmaker has done it last year.
Who's more clutch, Faker or Showmaker? Is the big
Showmaker,
question.
exactly.
Right now. Even though
Who
Faker,
makes it?
like
Yeah.
realistically speaking, Faker. We can talk about Faker for a bit before we end the podcast. Faker for the legacy as kind of the worst mid right now, technically speaking, out of all four, still in
And
Yeah.
the
statistically,
semifinals.
yes.
Statistically,
Yeah.
he's the worst. However, his playstyle also kind of lends to that because he is just
Yeah.
helping his team out every single
Yeah.
time. Like he's not playing for lane at all. He's playing fucking
And
Lissandra and going bot.
and I think that'll be the real issue because if Showmaker decides to handshake that and Showmaker roams faster than Faker, then yeah, that's kind of doomed.
We'll see if it
Because
doesn't.
Showmaker does roam a lot. Showmaker roams a
Yeah,
lot.
he doesn't stay in lane a lot, so it's a potential fight of actually who can help the team better,
This might end
and
up being like
it's going to be interesting.
a best of five full of just skirmishes all around because the mid laners and junglers are just going around fighting each other. Not even
I mean, I mean,
not
I
even
mean,
team
I
fight
mean,
wise.
DK has one plan, but that plan itself has like 70 different variations. Like I'm exaggerating, but the one plan is Showmaker's gonna get 6, Canyon's gonna tap top lane, and all of a sudden they're out of lane and they come to top lane and like, guess what? We're ganking you, and they have 6 or 7 different ways they do. It's kind of nuts.
T1 has 70 plans, but they all end with going top lane.
No, but the thing is, DK always goes top lane, but they have 7 different ways they can go about this.
All right,
Yeah,
here's
no, instead T1 just goes top lane.
Here's the
You
thing.
may think they go bot. No, they go top
the
lane.
best this best of five series honestly may end up being a lot bloodier than people might expect from two LCK teams because let's be real, DK does not play like an LCK team.
It's not an
No,
LCK
not
team, yeah.
T1. Not T1.
Nor T1.
T1 doesn't either.
They don't play like like Gen.G or HLE once they
Yeah.
get ahead. Even though it looks systematic
I
from
think T1
T1.
is the bloodiest team in LCK. I
Yeah.
think T1
No, no,
are the legitimately bloodiest team in
no,
the LCK.
I know. I think the bloodiest
Wait.
team was HLE. The bloodiest team was HLE.
Was it
Okay.
HLE?
Yes.
Did they just die all the time or what?
It,
Well, they
it was
do. They do die
it
a
was,
lot.
yeah, it was actually HLE or Nongshim.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
can see. I
Nongshim,
can see
forgot
both.
about Nongshim. Holy crap! I forgot they were
Well,
a
the thing
thing.
is, Nongshim should have been here instead of Gen.G, in all honesty, but
Yes,
Well,
I agree.
I mean, at least BTD's from having the tournament of his life right now. We'll
Yes.
see if that
Yeah.
continues.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, all right, guys, that'll be it from us here in the Plebcast. It's been real fun. We got a lot of mileage out of this one, even though it's just 4 teams in the semifinals. I think with all the
Just
tangents
too
that
much
we
is-
went on. Honestly, guys, I think going on tangents is a good thing in a podcast. I think that's
Yes.
the
Yes.
fun part of being
Yes.
in a podcast. Just going on weird esports history tangents where we talk about Korean top MVPs of all time. But anyway, yeah, that's gonna be all from us. My name is Miles David, your host. That's Slayer up there, and that's TDS on the bottom. They're analysts, and yeah, thank you for joining us here on the podcast. We will be back soon after the semifinals to talk about our preview also for the finals for whoever wins and whether TDS has died of overdose on the Hopium. We'll see. We'll see next week.
Maybe.
Guys. Check back. But anyway, thank you so much. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.